Welcome to a journey that could change your life. Today, we dive deep into the one trait that separates winners from wishers, success from struggle, and greatness from mediocrity. It's not talent, luck, or intelligence. It's discipline. In a world full of distractions, shortcuts, and excuses, discipline remains the quiet force behind every extraordinary life. So, if you're tired of starting over, if you're done with excuses, if you're ready to become the person you were born to be, then listen closely. Let's talk about the power of discipline. Part 1. The foundation of discipline. It's a word that echoes through every success story. A force so quiet yet so powerful that it has built empires, transformed lives, and taken ordinary people to extraordinary heights. But what is discipline really? Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up before the sun, grinding while others sleep, resisting temptation, ignoring the noise, and keeping your eyes locked on the prize. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, but it's necessary. We live in a world addicted to comfort. One click to order food, one tap to be entertained, one excuse away from quitting. But comfort never builds character. It never sharpens your soul. Discipline does. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. You can set goals all day. You can write affirmations. You can visualize success. But if you don't have the discipline to show up daily and do the work, it means nothing. Let me ask you something. How many times have you started something with passion, only to stop when it got hard? How many dreams have you buried under the weight of excuses? How many times have you told yourself tomorrow and never followed through? It's time to stop lying to yourself. It's time to stop negotiating with your weakness. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistency. You're not going to feel like showing up every day, but you show up anyway. Because you made a promise to yourself. Because you're not living based on mood, but on mission. That's what warriors do. You want financial freedom? It takes financial discipline. You want a strong body? It takes physical discipline. You want a sharp mind? It takes mental discipline. You want a meaningful life? It takes total discipline. No one gets to greatness without it. Take a look at every champion, every mogul, every leader. They all have one thing in common: discipline. It's the reason they win when others settle. It's the reason they grow when others stagnate. It's the reason they rise when others fall. Because discipline doesn't wait for the perfect moment. Discipline creates the moment. It doesn't matter how talented you are. Talent without discipline is wasted potential. How many people do you know who are gifted but going nowhere? Because talent gives you a head start, but discipline takes you across the finish line. It's not about motivation. Motivation fades. Some days you feel unstoppable. Other days you feel like quitting. That's natural. That's human. But discipline? That's different. Discipline is your anchor. When the storm hits, discipline holds you down. When fear creeps in, discipline keeps you moving. When you're tired, overwhelmed, and doubting yourself, discipline is your weapon. The pain of discipline versus the pain of regret. Let's talk about pain. Because here's the truth. You're going to experience pain either way. The question is, which pain will you choose? The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of waking up early, of saying no to distractions, of showing up when you're tired, of sticking to your routine when everyone else is relaxing. Yes, that's uncomfortable. But the pain of regret? That lasts forever. Regret is watching others live the life you dreamed of because you were too lazy to fight for it. Regret is realizing you wasted your potential. That you could have, should have, but didn't. Which one hurts more? Every time you skip the workout, skip the study session, skip the practice, you're choosing comfort over progress. And slowly, comfort becomes your cage. Discipline is the key that breaks you out. Discipline is self-respect. You don't need anyone else to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself. Enough to follow through. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust. And every time you break it, you destroy that trust. How can you expect to win if you don't even trust your own word? Start small. Build the habit. Wake up when you say you will. Finish what you start. Stick to your word, even when it's hard. Part 2. Building the daily armor. Habits of discipline. Discipline isn't built overnight. It's built daily. With every choice, every habit, every moment you say yes to your growth and no to your weakness. You want to master discipline? Then understand this. Your life is a reflection of your habits. Success isn't one giant leap. It's a series of small, disciplined steps taken every single day. Let's break it down. 1. Master your mornings. Your morning sets the tone for your entire day. If you snooze your alarm, you've already lost your first battle. But when you rise with purpose, even when you don't feel like it, you send a message to your brain. I'm in control. Don't touch your phone. Don't scroll. Don't react. Create before you consume. Journal your goals. Move your body. Read something empowering. Sit in silence and visualize your mission. This is how warriors prepare. This is how leaders start their day, not reacting to the world, but commanding their space. 2. Create a ritual, not a routine. A routine is what average people follow. A ritual is what champions live by. Routines can feel empty, but rituals are sacred. They're your commitment to greatness. They anchor your discipline. Make discipline a ritual. Go to bed at the same time. Plan your day the night before. Protect your energy and time like gold. Show up even when it's inconvenient. Why? Because discipline isn't something you do when it's easy. It's something you do, especially when it's not. 3. Protect your focus. Discipline dies in distraction. And today, distraction is everywhere. Notifications, messages, news, noise. You want power? Reclaim your focus. Delete what drains you. Log out of platforms that steal your time. Schedule blocks where you're unreachable. Just you and your work. Remember this. What you focus on grows. So ask yourself, what are you feeding your mind? Your attention is your life. Stop wasting it. 4. Fall in love with boredom. Discipline is not always exciting. In fact, it's often boring. The reps in the gym, the pages you read, the grind you repeat, the early mornings, the quiet nights. That's where growth hides. Average people quit because they chase stimulation. Greatness lives in those who embrace the monotony. Champions don't need constant excitement. They create it through consistency. Fall in love with boredom, and you'll discover your real strength. 5. Discipline is a muscle. Like any muscle, discipline grows when you train it. Start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one habit. Stick to it for a week. Then another week. Then stack a new habit on top. Track your progress. Celebrate small wins. And when you fail, don't run. Don't hide. Reset. Failure isn't the end. It's feedback. Every time you fall and rise, your discipline gets stronger. Every time you resist temptation, you're reinforcing your identity as someone who follows through. 6. The compound effect of discipline. Here's what most people don't realize. Discipline compounds. Just like money in a bank, every disciplined choice earns interest. It might seem small today, but 30, 60, 90 days later, you won't even recognize yourself. You'll have more energy, more clarity, more confidence, more results. The world responds to discipline. Opportunities open. People take you seriously. You walk differently. talk differently, think differently. Because you've built something unshakable inside of you. And that's the point. Discipline doesn't just change your results. It changes you. It molds your mindset. It reshapes your reality. It turns pain into power, fear into focus, chaos into control. Case study: the power of a disciplined life. Let's take a real example. Look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He wasn't born a global icon. In fact, he started with nothing. $7 in his pocket, evicted from his home. But what did he have? Discipline. Every morning he trains. Every project, he outworks the competition. Every goal, he attacks with intensity. People see his fame, his muscles, his success. But what they don't see are the thousands of disciplined days stacked behind it. He didn't wish for it. He worked for it. That's what discipline gives you. Part 3. Mastering mental discipline. Winning the war within. Let me tell you the hardest battlefield you'll ever fight on. Your own mind. You can fight the world. You can fight circumstance. But until you conquer your thoughts, you'll always be a prisoner of your own potential. Discipline starts in the body, but it's forged in the mind. You must develop what I call mental discipline, the ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and decisions regardless of how you feel, because feelings are fickle. You feel excited until the challenge shows up. You feel motivated until it gets uncomfortable. You feel committed until you're tested. But mental discipline says, I don't care how I feel, I care what needs to be done. This is the mindset that builds champions. Step 1. Train your mind like a warrior. You think discipline is hard? Try living without it. Try dealing with the anxiety of wasted time. Try carrying the weight of your own excuses. That's real suffering. But when you train your mind, when you build mental calluses, you become unshakable. Here's how. Embrace discomfort. Start your day with something hard. Cold showers, early runs, workouts. These teach your mind that comfort is not a priority. Progress is. Silence the noise. Spend time each day in stillness. No phone. No distraction. Just you and your thoughts. This is how you strengthen focus. Control your inner dialogue. Your mind will whisper lies. You're tired. You can't do this. You're not good enough. Respond with truth. I don't negotiate with weakness. I don't quit on my future. I am built for this. Repeat it every day until it becomes your belief. Step 2. Respect your time like it's life. Want to master discipline? Start by mastering your calendar. Because time is life. And wasting time is wasting life. Every minute matters. Create a daily plan before your day begins. Block your time in chunks. Work, train, read, rest. Guard your attention. Cut off time wasters, time vampires, and time traps. You don't need more hours. You need more intention. Most people lose discipline because they lose track of time. Days blur. Hours vanish. Nothing gets done. Not because they're lazy, but because they're unfocused. Schedule everything. Hold yourself accountable. Review your days. Measure progress, not perfection. Step 3. Eliminate decision fatigue. Here's something elite performers know. Discipline is drained by decisions. That's why Steve Jobs wore the same outfit daily. That's why athletes eat the same meals, follow the same routines. Not because they're boring, because they're brilliant. Every decision you make burns mental energy. So automate what you can. Plan your meals, lay out your clothes, schedule your workouts, create systems for your habits. When you eliminate unnecessary choices, you free up energy for what really matters. Your mission. Step 4. Remember your why. Discipline without purpose is just punishment. You need a strong why, a reason bigger than excuses, stronger than resistance. Ask yourself, why do I need to change? Who will suffer if I stay the same? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? Don't chase surface goals, chase soul goals. Because when your why is powerful, discipline becomes automatic. You don't skip the gym because you're building a future for your kids. You don't waste time on nonsense because you're fighting for freedom. You don't break your routine because you've buried too many versions of yourself already, and this one finally matters. That's the kind of why that makes you dangerous. Step 5. Make discipline your identity. Here's the secret most people miss. You don't become disciplined by doing disciplined things. You become disciplined by believing you are disciplined. Identity shapes behavior. Start saying, I'm the kind of person who finishes what I start. I don't make excuses. I make progress. I don't need motivation. I have commitment. Affirm it. Write it. Live it. Every time you choose discipline, you reinforce your identity. And soon, it becomes who you are. Not something you do occasionally, but something you live daily. Step 6. Consistency over intensity. Let's talk about consistency. Because discipline is not about extreme effort for a week. It's about steady effort for a lifetime. Anyone can grind for a day. But discipline is who shows up after the excitement fades. Think about a dripping faucet. Drop, drop, drop. It seems like nothing. But over time, it fills the bucket. That's how discipline works. It's boring. It's slow. But it's unstoppable. If you want real results, forget perfection. Focus on consistency. Stack small wins. Repeat. That's how you create momentum. Part 4. The long-term rewards of a disciplined life. Discipline isn't just about goals. It's not just about grinding for six-pack abs, building a business, or waking up early. Discipline is about freedom, peace, power, legacy. It rewires your life from the inside out. It upgrades everything. Your body, your mind, your money, your relationships, your future. Let's break it down. 1. Discipline builds unshakable confidence. Real confidence doesn't come from compliments or achievements. It comes from knowing you do what you say you'll do. Every time you wake up when you said you would. Every time you resist temptation and stay focused. Every time you stick to your word, you build trust in yourself. And when you trust yourself, you walk different. You stop seeking validation. You stop doubting your path. You stop fearing failure because you've trained yourself to rise. That kind of self-belief, it can't be bought. It's earned. One disciplined act at a time. 2. Discipline strengthens your relationships. You might not think about it, but discipline makes you better in every relationship you have. Because when you're disciplined, you communicate clearly. You follow through on your promises. You don't let emotions control your actions. You bring peace instead of chaos. A disciplined person isn't reactive. They don't lash out. They listen. They lead. They protect their energy, which means they protect those around them. 3. Discipline creates financial freedom. Money doesn't grow through luck. It grows through discipline. Discipline to save before you spend. Discipline to invest instead of consume. Discipline to delay pleasure for long-term power. How many people are stuck in debt, stress, and struggle because they lacked financial discipline? Because they chased things instead of stability. Because they bought to impress instead of to improve. But when you live below your means, when you track every dollar, when you prioritize freedom over flashing, you unlock a life most people only dream about. It's not about being cheap. It's about being intentional. Discipline turns money into a tool, not a trap. 4. Discipline transforms your health. Your body is your vehicle. You can't achieve your purpose running on low energy, pain, disease, or stress. Discipline is how you protect your health. Choosing the healthy meal over the fast one. Drinking water instead of sugar. Moving daily instead of sitting endlessly. Sleeping enough instead of burning out. Is it hard? Sure. But it's harder to live tired, sick, drained, trapped in a body you don't respect. Discipline gives you strength. It gives you stamina. It gives you clarity. And that affects everything. Your mood, your thinking, your performance. A strong body builds a strong mind. And a strong mind builds your destiny. 5. Discipline makes you a leader. People follow discipline, not just words, not charm, not titles, but actions. When others see your consistency, day after day, they respect it, they trust it, they learn from it. In your home, you become the example. In your community, you become the standard. In your industry, you become the outlier. Discipline gives you authority, because it proves you're not ruled by mood, you're ruled by mission, and that's what makes you a leader. 6. Discipline outlasts motivation. This is a truth that will change your life. Motivation starts the race, but discipline finishes it. Motivation is emotion-based. It's high one day, gone the next. But discipline? It doesn't care how you feel. It cares what you promised. Disciplined people don't need hype. They don't need applause. They don't need perfect conditions. 7. Discipline makes life beautiful. At first, discipline feels like restriction, but over time it becomes freedom. You don't have to eat healthy. You get to fuel your body. You don't have to wake up early. You get to own your time. You don't have to work hard. You get to honor your gift. Part 5. Final message, the Discipline Declaration. Let me ask you something real. How much longer will you wait? How many more Mondays will pass before you take control? How many more promises will you break to yourself? How many more dreams will you bury beneath excuses? This is your wake-up call. Discipline is not a suggestion. It's not optional. It's the bridge between your potential and your power. Because without discipline, your talent means nothing. Your vision dies unrealized. Your purpose remains hidden. But with it, you become unstoppable. Your life is a result of your standards. Where you are right now is the result of what you've tolerated. Your body reflects what you've allowed. Your income reflects what you've prioritized. Your peace reflects what you've disciplined your mind to focus on. So if you want a new life, raise your standards. Say it to yourself. I will no longer negotiate with weakness. I will no longer be a slave to my mood. I will no longer betray my future for temporary comfort. From this moment on, you are a new force. You are a disciplined soul on a mission. The fire inside you. Discipline is not just a routine. It's a fire that burns away distractions, ignites your goals, and lights the path through darkness. You may not be the most talented, that's okay. You may not have the best circumstances. That's okay. You may have fallen, failed, and been forgotten. That's okay, because now you're focused, you're driven, you're disciplined, and that makes you dangerous. You owe this to yourself. You owe it to the child version of you, the one who dreamed big before the world told you to settle. You owe it to your future self, the one waiting on the other side of your effort. You owe it to those who believe in you, to show them what commitment looks like. And yes, you owe it to those who doubted you, not for revenge, but to show them who they were dealing with all along, a disciplined warrior. This is your moment. Right now, your life is standing at a crossroads. To the left, the same patterns, the same excuses, the same results. To the right, pain, sacrifice, sweat, commitment, but also growth, power, purpose, mastery, greatness. The question is simple. Which path will you choose? You already know what comfort brings. Nothing. Now it's time to find out what discipline brings. The discipline code. Let this be your declaration. I don't wait for motivation. I move with intention. I don't chase perfection. I chase progress. I don't break when it's hard. I break limits. I don't lower my standards. I rise to meet them. I don't fear failure. I embrace the fight. From this day forward, I choose discipline. I live discipline. I am discipline. If you've made it to the end of this message, something inside you is burning. Hold on to that fire. Nurture it. Feed it with action. And watch how your life changes, not just gradually, but radically. You'll speak differently, walk differently, think differently. Because you won't just be someone chasing goals. You'll be someone living with absolute self-control. You'll be someone reclaiming their power. This isn't just a motivational speech. It's your new standard. The world may not be ready, but you are. Discipline is not easy, but neither is staying the same. So make the hard choice now and live with pride forever. Thank you for watching. If this message hit home, share it with someone who needs it. Leave a comment below. I choose discipline. And most importantly, prove it. Every single day.